So, it's been a while since I've made a devlog update on Sonic Labyrinth 2 slash remake slash whatever. Since the months that haven't posted another devlog about this, I have completely redone the model for Sonic within this game. It is using the fully rigged custom Sonic the Hedgehog classic model for Blender by Dankata 3D, and I cannot explain just how good this model is. Please show Dankata 3D some support. I've completely retooled this to work in my game. The way that I got this to work was there are some baked textures within the files. Getting this thing to work inside of a game, basically meant for animation in Blender within itself, but getting this to export properly to Godot was very, very hard. This model is very beautiful, very expressive, and within this time I've been able to make my custom animations with this. This was a way better model than the one I used before. Even though it was rigged and came with animations, it was just not very good. Dankata is amazing. And not only does this model come with a beautiful, fully rigged working model of Sonic, but it also comes with a fully working model or rig for the spin ball, which is perfect because most of the time you're gonna be using the spin ball within Sonic Labyrinth. You can turn off the spin dash ball and turn Sonic on. No, turn Sonic on. What? So, within this time I've been able to make custom animations for Sonic using the absolutely incredible rig. I will make a video on how to export stuff like this to Godot, the animations and exporting the materials correctly. I eventually got them to work. Here is the animation that I made. I only have the walking animation, so when in Sonic Labyrinth, Sonic has the slowdown shoes, which is why he's so slow, which are very heavy shoes. So the walking animation, in the original game, he doesn't really look like he's walking with very heavy shoes, he just kind of walks slowly. But my animation aims to show the heaviness of the shoes more. Look at this. He has the motion where he has to go down and basically he's just doing a bunch of squats right now because they're so heavy. This model is just so expressive, I love it. The one thing I did have to sacrifice though is the mouth move. Sonic in the model in here, if you look up here, he's got this. For some reason, the modifiers or whatever it's on this mouth model, it doesn't really want to cooperate with Godot. He comes out looking very beehive stung. If you look at the difference between the width, look at this. My boy got stung by a bee. Somehow, for some reason, I don't even remember how it happened. I had this. This is actually exported from a different instance of this model. This skinny muzzle base without any mouth only showed up when I directly dropped the .blend file into Godot. However, I did not use this .blend file that had the model in it because animations don't really export right with it. Like the animation player wouldn't have my animations. Animations and all that other stuff only work when you export it as a JLB file. So I exported it as a JLB file so that everything would work because it's way cleaner to just export as a JLB because Godot handles that best, especially from Blender to Godot. But I Control-C the muzzle base that showed up only when it's the .blend for some reason, and then I copy and pasted it into the one with the JLB file, and somehow the bones just correctly aligned and it just works with the animations for some reason. It's just crazy, I don't know how that worked. I'm very happy about that because this one doesn't have any mouth, as you can see, but it is not as bee stung as this. So I don't know where this came from. I just Control-C and Control-V and the bones just worked, and I am so happy about that. Anyways, I have made a base for the enemies, which is Pepe. I'm just using an egg pond right now until I make the actual 3D model, which is gonna be a little hard, but I can do it. Then I have a base skybox set up. I don't like how these clouds look. I have a game design document where I wanted to redesign the level of Labyrinth of the Sky Act 1. So if you see here, I don't want it to look like this. It's very ugly, the background. So I wanted it to look more starry with a bunch more clouds and be more dreamlike. In that way, I'm taking these clouds and making this gradient. But since the game uses an orthographic camera, I have to make these parallax layers. And these parallax layers are set up to follow the camera 3D using the X and Y positions. So it'll work the same way as a parallax 2D in 2D, but it just follows the 3D camera. Since it's orthographic, it projects a 2D plane, basically. The regular world environments wouldn't work. However, I did get the sky to work, so it still has the same lighting from the original skybox. And I also got some placeholder tiles to see how they would look. I don't remember where I got these from, but these have normal maps and everything, so I'm gonna replicate this using the red and blue tiles that originally in Labyrinth of the Sky Act 1. And there are some Chow keys right here. I still gotta make a bunch of placeholders models, so these are just Chow keys. I'll make the actual keys from Sonic Labyrinth, and I have a placeholder portal. So if you get enough keys, you will transport to whichever location, whichever scene I choose. So then I can map this. If you see right here, place the transport, I can set this to whatever level I want, whatever I want. So that will work. So right now the key requirement is 0. So if you see here, right now I have it set to, oh yeah, also look at this. His walking animation is working, and then when he's idle, he just goes into T-pose. So that's the only animation that I made right now, but also look at the parallax layers. So the clouds move on their own right now. They're not mapped to they're not really working with the camera right now, but I gotta fix that. However, look at that. Nice lighting around here, and a way better model. Thank you, Dan Cotta. Dan Cotta. Right now the key requirement is 0, so I can just teletransport. It's actually mapped to just reload this scene. If we get a key, we can collect keys. And let's just go through this portal or this exit. So it's just reloading the scene right now. And if we touch this guy, we die. I think. Oh, he dies. Well, I think it's because it's just looking for us. So after I get this video done, I'm gonna work on getting it to only be attacked when Sonic is in the spin dash state. That's basically what I have right now. The game is still working perfectly fine, and I have the full model. So I modeled this out, the level out in Blender. And that's basically the way I'm gonna be doing this. As you can see here, I've just done this on Blender. You gotta then a UV unwrap it so that it goes correctly, projected from my view, and then I separate it manually. And then you gotta do the actual texture work inside of Godot itself. So don't do the texture work in Blender and then export it, because then it just doesn't work that well. That's probably what I'm gonna have to do with this, because if I want to get the same, like, it's really beautiful. Right now it's just using baked textures, but if you see here, they're very dynamic, and so I want to replicate the same shading within Godot's shading thing, because this stuff doesn't translate to Godot. Godot does have its own texture material shading system. Here, that's what I did with this one. I made a material for the cube for this mesh, and then I did basically the same things that you would do in Blender, but in Godot itself. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to do with Sonic to get him to look even better than he does right now. To have like dynamic shading and everything. But that's what I've been doing this whole time. I think the next steps for this are to obviously get some different models, fix the skyboxes. Basically a lot of art right now. There's not too much to do for actual programming, but I do have to get the animations and everything in here, and actual custom assets like the levels, the level tiles. But I hope you guys are excited to see this. Once this first level is done, I want to try to get this done by end of May. I will probably release a demo on itch.io with the first level of this fully remade. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. This is the Mega Manic out.